hear on that part right there was voice crossing. So I'm going to be honest, I was going to give myself a Cynthia ERIVO break from this channel after the last video I did, but clearly we love her too much to take a break from her right now. So we're going to talk more about her and ARIANA because we love them both. They're both amazing. I don't know what else to say. Let's talk about this beautiful rendition of this beautiful song. There can be miracles. It's almost like there was a tiny shadow vowel on the end of miracles. Because word is miracles, right? Miracles. It's not miracles. But it's almost like she added a shadow vowel on the L of miracles. Miracles. Right there. Right before the L, I guess. Miracles. Oh, oh. That's a shadow vowel I'm talking about. And then on Though Hope is Frail, it's hard to kill. The larynx drops a little bit. The vocal tract opens up. It's hard to kill. And that really lets those low notes ring when people do stuff like that. It's hard to kill. You see how the tone kind of changes and my voice changes when I drop the larynx and open the vocal tract a little bit? Kind of like a yawn, like a really big wide yawn. It's hard to kill. I love how she blended that miracles. Miracles you can achieve. And the miracles there was a little bit bigger than the first miracles. It was a little bit thicker, a little bit beefier, a little bit chestier there. And then she went down to that miracles you can achieve and blended that whole phrase into one big breath, if you will. I love how she did the run and how she introduced each word into that phrase right there. It was such a nice flow. Such a nice flow.
When you believe somehow
believe, even in the believe, there's a little larynx changing, little vocal tract shape changing. Believe. You kind of hear me play with the opening of my vocal tract, letting it get wider and more narrow depending on where I am in the eve of believe, if you will. You will where you believe. I don't know the run that she did, but you can clearly hear the texture of the voice change because she's changing the shape of the vocal tract. Very slightly, but the changing of the vocal tract is still happening. She's staying more breathy. It's here. Da na 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 na. Everything's breathy and a little bit warmer. Generally in timbre. You can hear her using vocal fry just a little bit on like one or two phrases in that vocal line there. Blown away. You can hear in that last line right there, that vocal fry happening. Blown away. Now you notice her voice is speaking up a little bit more. There's less breathiness, a little bit more ping to the voice, but there's still breathiness in the vocal line. But she's letting the voice progress in dynamics very slowly. Very slow vocal dynamic progression as the song builds. This whole time. The song is building. It's slow build right now, but it's building. And that's the whole point of them changing the vocal textures even within the verse. Like the first half of the verse is one way, the second half of the verse is another way. And even though those changes are slight, it's still progression. That was nice. Oh, vowel modification. Oh, whatever the run was right there. She migrated through the O. Oh, it was brighter up top. Oh, and wider. Oh, and as she went down, it got more closed. Whew, that way. Oh, whatever it is. But she was more bigger and fuller, chestier in that part. Again, more vocal progression. That was the first time in this song, in this moment, that she got that chesty in her vocal delivery. Everything else was breathy and a little chesty towards the end of the second verse right there, but that was really pingy and bright and boom right there. So it was bigger than the rest of the verses, if you will, that she did. When you believe, Cynthia almost had like a almost like a more open vocal track, low lyric sound. When you believe, yeah. It's hard to kill. It's not hard, it's hard. R taken out. It's hard to kill. And Ariana's kind of low right here, so that bottom note was kind of quick. Hard to kill. She got right off of that thing because it's low. I mean, it is low. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? They both get beefy. Who knows what miracles? And Ariana, you can achieve, goes breathy and warm, and Cynthia kind of follows through with the breathy and warm vibe there. So again, varying vocal textures, but the song is still building. Varying vocal textures, but the song is still building dynamically, musically, pitch-wise, all the things. And when I'm thinking about Whitney and Mariah, I feel like Ariana and Cynthia kind of keep a more warmer approach, and I think a lot of it has to do with their vocal delivery as individual artists and how they sing together, whereas Whitney and Mariah kind of had a more brighter, brassier sound. It's not right or wrong, good or bad, it's just different. You know, 4 different singers, 2 different songs, 2 different renditions between 4 different singers, you're gonna have different sounds. And I love the subtle nods they have to Mariah and Whitney. You can tell that they were directly influenced by that performance, obviously, you know, in how they approached the song together, Ariana and Cynthia, you know. But also Ariana and Cynthia are singing it the way they want to sing it. So they're singing it the way Ariana and Cynthia would. They're not trying to be Mariah and Whitney. You know what I'm saying? But they're definitely giving nods to that version, and obviously they're both influenced by those women singing wise in this song here, but they're singing it like Ariana and Cynthia would, which is what I respect about artists. I'm not expecting them to be karaoke versions of Whitney and Mariah. I want them to be Cynthia and Ariana. That's who they are as people. Mariah and Whitney already did the song. They're great. I love listening to their version as well, but I also love listening to other people's take on this song and what they would do with this song, how they would do it, you know. And I think letting go of that comparison and just enjoying both versions for what they are is the beauty of art. I also noticed that Ariana's jaw and mouth are more longer. And I think that's part of her more warmer, rounded approach. She keeps everything longer and more round in the lips and jaw respectively. I think that coupled with soft palate play that she sometimes does in her delivery as well, I think those 3 things really make up that warmth that I hear on Ariana's voice. If you notice Ariana and Cynthia's mouths here, you can see that mouth shape that I was talking about with Ariana and then Cynthia as well. You can see Ariana's more longer again, but Cynthia has a little bit more of a, to her approach, it's a little bit more of a smile. And I think that's just their personal vocal deliveries and how they sing as people. You know, I think Ariana just keeps a more longer, rounder shape. And I say longer, rounder very slightly. Like, it's not like opera long. You know, it's just a little bit more longer, rounder in comparison to other people. But then Cynthia keeps some more, it's a little bit more of a spread ping to her sound and her approach here. You can really see the mouth shapes there, and then hear the vocal differences when they sing together. And Cynthia's on the bottom, but sounds a little more brighter this way than Ariana, who's on the top, but more longer and warmer this way, if you will. Which is such a unique thing. You hear more warmer on the top and more brighter on the bottom, but it still sounds so good together. It's so hard to sound because I just want to watch the rest of it, you know? But you hear on that part right there was voice crossing. When they went into the last chorus right there, Ariana sounded on the bottom right before it, Cynthia was on the top, and then the oh on the O's, Ariana said her O and then jumped up with Cynthia. So at first, Cynthia was on the bottom during the bridge, Ariana was on top, but then at the end of the bridge, they switched. They did a little voice crossing there. They switched. So then Cynthia took the top, Ariana took the bottom, and then as soon as the bridge happened, Ariana kind of floated up with Cynthia. And now everybody's bigger, the choir's in, the sound is bigger, they're both tilting their heads back, ah, a lot more glottal onsets on the O's, oh, 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 and they're both ad-libbing a lot more runs and a lot more of this going on and everything between them two. All right, Cynthia, I love how she is keeping like a little Whitney in her approach. You know, how she's kind of shaping some of these ad-libs. It's giving me a little Whitney. And Ariana flipping up. That was so easy for her. She kind of flipped up without even batting an eye. She just sitting there with the high note right there. Yeah. Believe. There's some more of that vocal tract changing, larynx dropping, vocal tract opening. But she kept that E shape here the whole time. You see, when I do that, my sound changes. It gets more darker and richer at the bottom, a little bit more bright at the top, and it goes back to that darker, richer sound. And while she's doing that, Ariana, you know, floating up on top and doing all those floaty, nice, pretty notes up top with the breathy, lighter, heady voice sometimes. Beautiful. I love the contrast. And Ariana kind of sticks to more of that heady, lighter stuff in this song here, while Cynthia kind of keeps more of that robust, chesty sound, but they both do both. You know, it's not exclusive. They both do both, if that makes sense. They're just such wonderful, versatile vocalists and musicians. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed watching it with y'all, and as I will forever say to you, be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, be vocally you. I love you so much. I'll see you soon.